All right. Well, again, thank you, everybody. And if a few more people show up, I will try to keep track of that. I appreciate everybody being here because I do want to talk about making revenue as a coach. And I've got some stats for you on that. And I want you to walk away with some tips on how to increase your coaching presence, or maybe even to start. But let me just start with a couple of declarations about coaching. And this is absolutely true. And I don't think any of you would challenge me on this. So I do have a few notes I might actually look at today. So let me get started here. So coaching right now provides the most freedom, the most impact, and the most revenue aside from any professionally degreed career out there. Yes, there are programs, there are degreed programs out there. You can be a doctor, you can be an engineer, but the freedom and the impact and the revenue that can be made right now in coaching is unlike any other. Who wants to take a guess at how much revenue coaching took in 2021? Someone feel free. This is open forum. Someone take a guess. Online. I'm going to go online or in person. Anyone take a guess on what coaching took in 2021? According to Forbes, $2 billion in the coaching industry. And don't get me wrong, there's a million coaches out there. There's not a million good coaches out there, but there's a million coaches out there. What we want to do is we want to distinguish ourselves. Let me talk about those three things real quick, though. Coaching provides an immense amount of freedom. I mean, an absolute amount of freedom. If you can create your niche and you can find your clients, you decide when you work, how much you want to work, and when you're going to work with the people that are your clients. Now, I think most of you guys know I have a full-scale marketing company, but coaching has become more and more important to us because the coaching provides that freedom for me. I now have employees who do a lot of our marketing for us. I'm very thankful for that, and I have to manage them or other. But the coaching, I love. I love speaking in public. I love meeting with you guys one-on-one. And when I look at my schedule next week, I decide when someone says, hey, when are you available? I decide when I'm available. And I take priority for my clients. Of course I do. I'm not making them like, well, you got to wait 3 weeks because I've got to watch 24. I'm not doing that. But I do look at my schedule and I create the freedom around it that I want. And because of the revenue that it creates and the opportunity it creates, I am more free than I've ever been in my entire life. I'm going to go through my history that I think a lot of you know, but I think it'd be good in the context of this. But coaching has provided more freedom for my career than anything ever. And here's the thing. If you know how to do something, you can coach it. You can coach it. If you are an expert in comic books, you can create a coaching program on how people create revenue by going to yard sales and buying comic books and reselling them. If you've ever sold anything on eBay, you can create a coaching program. Now, and then you can also create coaching programs about health and fitness, about your expertise, about realty. I'm looking at Lee, who just wrote and produced his own play. I don't know how many churches would love to do that. And I'm like, my man can create. I mean, literally, if you are skilled and you can do it well, you can create a coaching program and have an immense amount of freedom. That does not mean that you're not going to have to work hard. You're going to have to work very, very hard. But once you get to a certain point, there's an immense amount of freedom that comes with it. Now, impact. I was a minister for 22 years, and it was a career field where I could see impact being made. But often it was a bit more esoteric because it wasn't coaching. I loved it. I'm not criticizing it at all. But coaching is very different than preaching or being a pastor. If you have ever been a coach, you are literally working with someone or in a group. You're moving them towards goals in a very, very practical way. There is an end zone. There is a marker to hit. There are diagnostics. And a good coach, someone can sign up with you and you get to make a real impact in someone's life, and you get to see it. You get to see it. You get to see, oh, I've helped you create a coaching program and now you're making revenue on your own. Or your team was a mess. And now I'm coming in and I'm coaching your team and your team is organized. There's a tremendous impact that can be made. So it's freedom, it's impact, and it's an incredible revenue drive for you. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your resume. It doesn't matter how incredible your LinkedIn setup is, any of that stuff. If you've got a good program, if you've got a skill set, and you can speak in a voice where people will hear you, then you have an opportunity to make a tremendous amount of money in the coaching field. It doesn't just happen. Very few people just go viral and make money doing this. You have to do all the work that brings those things about, but you can make a tremendous amount of money doing it. I'm going to share the story in a minute when I kind of go walk through my background, but I started selling coaching programs at $1 a day, $1 a day programs, which is great. I can make $30 a month, but it takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of people. I bumped up to $179 and I thought I was getting crazy. But now I can create a program. I can put a higher ticket on it because I know the value of it. I know the impact that can be made at. I can quote it with confidence without being sheepish whatsoever. And I can create a revenue stream and a revenue source that's monthly, that's in a 90-day period, in a 60-day period. All those are options before you. So part of that's why you're all here. But if you want freedom and you want to make an impact and you want to make some money, be a coach. Be a coach. Be a good coach, please. So anybody real quick, anyone have a 60-second story of a good coaching experience they have? Does anyone have that? I'm putting you on the spot to a certain extent, but does anyone have a good coaching experience they'd like to share?
Gordon.
Missy, please.
I listen to this lady that just talks me to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she's amazing. I mean, it just is, she just talks you down when you go to sleep. The music's awesome. And I know it probably, she did it 15 years ago and she's still making money off of moi.
Yep. Yeah. You're genius. You're right, Missy. And Shamika, I'm so glad you joined us. You know what, Missy, a good coaching program, sometimes circumstances changed and they are a little bit trapped in time. But if you find a good coaching program, if you guys aren't familiar with Jim Rohn, ROHN, that stuff's timeless. Like, go back and find his coaching programs on YouTube. It's all free now. Sometimes things are trapped in a time because of culture and because of the situations that change. But if you can find a good coaching program, it can make an impact on you for a long time. There's a reason people still quote Napoleon Hill from 1930. Because Think and Grow Rich has transformed a bunch of people, a bunch of people. But I go back to those 3 points I made just a minute ago. Coaching will give you more freedom than any other profession. It'll enable you to make an impact like none other. And it'll create a revenue stream for you like you just can't imagine. Really, just can't imagine. Now, what I want to say real quick before anybody goes, I know you might have things to go, but if you stay to the end, I've got 2 gifts for you, by the way. I have a PDF of 100 viral prompts for you. That this 100 prompts are going to help you. You may not get 1,000 watches or views out of it. You'll get more views and watches than you normally do. I will give that to you at the end. So it's a PDF of 100 prompts. Take it. And you know what the beauty is? What do we got? 10 people on here. We could all do it on Tuesday and no one's going to know that we're all copying each other. It's some fantastic prompts. And I do have a special offer for you to the end. So if anybody can make it to the end, I've got a PDF for you. That's 100 prompts that will help you with your posting, and I have a special offer. Again, how much is it? How much coaching revenue came in 2021? Who remembers? $2 billion. Nancy, I'll send you another gift as well. $2 billion in 2021. Think about that. Now those are corporations, but it's a lot of folks like you and me. It's a lot of folks who have a skill set and a passion and put together a coaching program and then made an impact. And you know what? Good coaches never need to apologize about the freedom, the impact, or the revenue. If you're a good coach, you never need to apologize for the money you're making. Because if you can solve someone's problem, people will pay any single amount to have that problem solved. They really will. I told the story a couple of weeks ago about when I went out to 10X GrowthCon in Vegas in 2018. I was thinking about starting or at least growing my marketing company. And I just needed to be around other people who had the same mindset. And I was a broke pastor, and I got a $99 Spirit airline flight. You guys know what a $99 Spirit airline flight is? And I lie to you not. I flew from midnight to 4 on the way back, and there was a medical emergency on the flight. It was the craziest thing I've ever been to. I charged my suit. I charged my ticket. Why? Because I thought it was the solution. And you know what? It really was. I put myself in front of people. I got one contract out of it. It got me on a pathway. If you can solve someone's problem, people will pay any amount, and you don't have to apologize for it. We're not extorting people. It's not an exorbitant amount, but you can pay your worth. And in coaching, you know what it does for you? You get to recognize your worth for once. Anybody here ever worked a job where you know you didn't get your worth? Anybody ever worked a job? Yeah. I've worked for $3.35 an hour. I bought tobacco, and at lunch I got a Mountain Dew and a pack of nabs and didn't get beaten. That was the reward at lunchtime. You know what? We've done those jobs, right? In coaching, you get to say, this is what I am worth. And if you can believe in what I'm doing, I promise you this transformation, and you'll recognize my worth. And it's worth getting one person to pay you $3,600 than it is for you to charge $36 and have to go out there and find 100 people to agree with you. It really is. And God bless it. If that's where you start, I say, God bless you and go for it. But put together a program and sell it for $3,600 and make an impact on one person's life, and you will not have to sweat like you do to get 100 people for $36. So let me tell you a little bit of my coaching journey, and then I've got 3 secrets of all good coaches, and those will be super practical takeaways for you. I've shared a story with you guys that in 2003, and if you don't know this, 2003, I was managing an eye doctor's office, and I was in seminary, and I wanted to finish my master's degree, and I was not doing both well. I was not managing the eye doctors well, and I was struggling in seminary. So I literally went and got a cell phone and printed up some business cards and declared myself a consultant. That was it. That was my entire training. My training was actually managing the eye doctor's office, but I declared myself an optometric consultant. There is an entire field for that, and it's amazing. As you can imagine, there's coaches in every field. And that was the first time I ever experienced it, because my eye care practice had a consultant come in 2003, and they gave her $10,000 for 5 days work in 2003 because she netted results. She netted results. So I thought, well, I'm not worth $10,000, but I'm worth $225 a day. And that was my price. And I don't remember where I came up with $225. I thought it was what I could ask someone in their face and not like smirk, or not. It's the only price I could ask for confidently. And I can tell you that in eye care consulting, I've gotten up to $1,000 a day. If you want, plus expenses, if you want me to come in, and it was $1,000 a day. I haven't done it probably since 2019, but I'm always ready with those eye care chops. But that's where I got started. As an eye care consultant, I probably trained on HR more than anything else. Until I had a vinyl manufacturing company ask me if I did HR consulting. And the answer was, of course I do HR consulting. Of course I do. And so they hired me for 10 months. And they were 2 states, 3 factories, and they wanted me to overhaul their HR processes. I can do that. So that was more consulting than coaching, right? That was me coming in and being more hands-on. And so I wanted to move more into coaching. I'm always happy to consult on a broader scale. So in 2019, our company paid for John Maxwell certification for 2 of us, and it was about a $12,000 to $14,000 investment. And I enjoyed it. I really did. But I had a difficult time monetizing it. And so recently, at the beginning of this year, I paid $8,000 for another program that was going to help me monetize my coaching. And it's been worthwhile, 100%. And I made that money back in 45 days. And so my best stretch, I think, was $19,000 of billed revenue in 21 days. Now, those numbers are based upon impact. And at the very beginning, I could only make $225 worth of impact. So that's what I charged. But the bigger the impact, I was able to charge a larger fee because I could look someone in the eye and tell them, this is what you will get. Like concrete. I could concretely tell someone what the difference was going to be if they worked with me. Coaches who can't quantify their impact are always going to struggle. Please write that down. Coaches who can't quantify their impact are always going to struggle. If you can't quantify your impact, you're more of a counselor than a coach. Now, hear me. There's massive value in being a counselor. Please, please, please. I did marriage counseling for 22 years. Massive value in that. But I couldn't look at those couples and go, I'm not Tony Robbins. I was like, I couldn't cover those couples and say, pay me $3,600 to counsel you. I could not. And as a pastor, you can do it for free anyway. But as a coach, you can quantify your impact. I'm going to just look at the screen and pick on people. So forgive me. If you are in real estate and you can say, I'm going to help you sell 2 more houses this month, there's a dollar amount attached to that depending upon your brokerage. And you can charge that because guess what? If they do that every month, that means they're going to sell 24 more houses in a year. You're going to say, I'm only going to charge you half of that. And then you look at a person like, hey, if you spend $1 and got $2 back, would you do it? Then all of a sudden that makes sense, right? That makes sense a lot. If you are the parent of a special needs child and you can tell them, I'm going to free up 10 hours of your week. What could you do with 10 hours of your week? Guilt-free. There's a dollar amount attached to that, right? There's a dollar amount attached to that. If you're a yoga instructor and you can coach people to be a yoga instructor and charge a dollar amount attached to that, that's where coaching, good coaches make a difference. And so I'm not going to pick on each one of you, but I'm looking at you guys and I know the gifting that you guys have. I see just a tremendous group on that. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm able to say, I'm going to charge you this, but I can see that you're going to make this impact financially. And so if you are coaching already or wanting to be a coach, quantify your impact. And the better you can quantify it, the better you can quote for your services. That's where you make an impact. Okay. So I haven't even gotten to the 3 secrets of a good coach yet. That was just free. Quantifying your impact's not even one of them. But real quick, I love to take questions sort of like halfway in. Anybody got thoughts or questions or anything so far? I'd love to answer. And maybe my story didn't make sense and I can fill in some details. Anything so far? Man, I'm super clear today. I'm just crystal today. All right, let's do it. Let's hop into the 3 things that are going to make you a great coach. 3 things are going to make you a great coach. And I promise you, this first one is related to my story. I promise you this first one is true. I promise you. It's not self-serving. I promise you this one's true. Good coaches are hungry to gain new skills always. If you're going to be a coach, you have to have specific skills. I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this for you, and I can teach this to you. Maybe it's just one thing. That's fine. I will do this one thing for you. You will have to constantly gain new skills in that one area if you want to be a good coach. Because your students will go past you, and that's fine to a certain extent. You might be in real estate and they might go off and make more money than you. Good. That's what you want, right? That's what you want to be able to look at the product and say, right? In 2023, I'm going to go into health coaching. I want to be able to train runners. It's something I'm passionate about, right? My running has helped me with my epilepsy. And the one thing I have not done is I have not gone and got a runner training certificate. So 2023, I will. And you know what? They will be faster than me. I promise you they will be. But you know what? I can tell them I overcame epilepsy. I qualified for Boston 4 times. I ran Boston. I won this race. And so, but I don't have the cert yet. I've got to have it. So what does that mean I got to do in 2022 or 2023? I have to pay for the training program that's going to put me through the ringer, teach me to do it, so I can hold up that certificate and say, I'm a USATF trained running coach. And you know what? And that's on my goal for 2020. I love running too much for me not to be trained in running. And so now, if I want to niche down, I can say I train people with seizures, or I can niche down as far as I want on that. But I can't do that unless I'm hungry to gain that skill. And it's the case for every one of you. At some point in time, we have to pay to get those skills and to get that certification or that training. Because what are we good at? We're good at what we do. That's why you're a coach. But you've got to go out and get the skills to be able to know how to put it together into a coaching program, or to do it, market it better, or to present it better. And good coaches never stop. Never, ever stop. And so I'm looking at 2 programs for the second half of the year, and I'm like, am I going to do it? I'm just trying to decide. And I just finished one. You know, you'll get addicted to it. You got to be really careful. You can't just, you just can't keep signing up for them. I know for me, I've got to look at dollar in, dollar out, right? The next one, I got to look, if I'm signing up for this, I've got to get this value out of it. But good coaches never, ever, they just never stop. They get hungry for new skills and they keep adding them. Shamika and I have some friends, and they've got more degrees than a thermometer. I mean, they got certificates all the time. And they'll have people just come up to them like, do you do this? And it's like they'll reach over to the wall and be like, yeah, I got a certification in this. And I charge $7,200 for it. And people are like, sign me up, right? Then you don't have to do all of that. You don't. First of all, you got to get good at one thing, right? You got to get good at one coaching program. But good coaches, they're just always hungry for new skills. It just doesn't stop. Because I know for me, and mine's related to my brain issues, but if I don't exercise my brain, my neurologist tells me, Gordon, your brain's going to go in the other direction. So I got extra motivation, right? There's very few things that terrify me in the world. Losing my brain terrifies me. So that means I do memorization exercises. I wear my family out and just share all these just monotonous stuff that I've learned, because I know it keeps my brain healthy and it's moving, and I got to put water into it, and I got to do all these things, right? So that's my motivation. But guys, if you want to be a good coach, always be hungry for new skills. Look for the program that's going to help you get there. So that's one of them. And one, you guys are here. So first of all, thank you. That's part of it. But being that lifelong learner, like Shamika said, it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And you know what? I've also got motivation. I got 3 teenage girls that learn faster than me. Can't keep up with them. Cannot keep up with them. Anything I share with them, they're like, Dad, that's like 3 months ago. So I don't even share TikTok with them. They're so far ahead of me. It's ridiculous. They make fun of me if I share a video with them. But anyway, neither here nor there. Number 2, coaches who have an organized system succeed. Always. If your system is not organized, it's not going to succeed. So let me say 2 things about that. When I got started in eye care, I was not organized. It was literally a business card and a cell phone. Same phone number I have to this day. I got it in 2003. I quickly realized that I had to create a system. I did. And so the ProSite Success System still online. You can still buy that $179 PDF if you want. You can get the book on Amazon. But I quickly realized that people don't want me to just walk around and go, hey, fix this, fix this, fix this. Like, I literally had to have a system. And if you're going to sell a coaching program, especially a premium ticket coaching program or a premium ticket coaching program where you go on site, it's got to be organized. Because if someone says, well, what does coaching look like with you? And you're like, well, we just kind of work through things. No, I mean, no one wants to pay for that. They want to know, what is it? And so for me, it's definition, determination, destination, daylight. That's my program. I can explain my program to you in 30 seconds. I can tell you what it looks like to walk in the door and what to walk out the door. Tell you what the transformation looks like. Those things are incredibly important for people to understand why they want to do business with you. And so even if all of your coaching is in person, people still want to know what your program looks like. I have some folks right now who wanted me to custom create a coaching program for them. They're like, here's our problem. Can you fix it? And I said, sure thing. I can fix it. But you know what? That means I had to go sit down and I had to create an outline for them. And I had to present it. And like, this is what we're going to do in steps along the way. And so that's what, and so I charge more for that, right? If you're going to ask me to create a custom program and I'm going to do it in person, that's more than my Capitalize Your Best program. I'm happy to do that. But if you want to succeed as a coach, create a customized program or pay for a program that helps you create a customized program. People want to know what the process is. Now, when you get to the point of a Gary Vee or Tony Robbins, you just pay to be around those guys for a couple of hours. You just trust that what they're going to do, they're going to walk you through it. That's where we'd like to get, but that's not where we're there yet. But you know what? All those guys have built successful programs that are organized that you can already buy. So you get so successful and organized, eventually people will just pay you for an hour of your time. Just come walk in the door and tell me what you see. And that'll make a difference. So successful coaches have organized programs. I've got one more for you, and then I'm definitely going to want some questions from you. Okay. So first of all, successful coaches are always hungry for new skills. Successful coaches always have an organized system. And then successful coaches can communicate the transformation that they promise. This is similar one I talked about earlier for quantifying, but can you communicate the transformation that you are promising? Because guys, right now, there are a million coaching programs out there, and some of them are phenomenal, and you are going to be competing against them. And some folks are better than you and me, more attractive than you and me, clearer than you and me. That doesn't mean that people won't go with you. If you can establish a relationship with a potential client and you can communicate the transformation, people will want to do business with you. They will want to hire you as a coach. Very rarely in this field do people want a coach that they don't connect with. I mean, you've got to be phenomenal in what you deliver for people not to connect with. It's possible, right? You hear that in like the NFL, not as much anymore, but like those hard-nosed coaches, they're not your friends. They're not, no one, very few people cuddle up with Bill Belichick. If anyone knows who he is, the coach of the Patriots, no one thinks, oh, he's such a cuddly, nice guy. But you know why people want to work with him? Because you know what you're going to get with him. You know what you're going to get with him. There was an era of this in, forgive me. Who wrote Girl Wash Your Hair? Please forgive me. I don't remember her name. Anybody remember Girl Wash Your Hair? Do you remember her? She was a coach. Anybody? Was I the only one who read that? Really? Okay. It'll come to me in a minute. She did Girl Wash Your Hair, and then she wrote Girl Quit Apologizing. And she was the equivalent of like the female, I'm going to yell at you coach. And she did incredibly well. But that was because in her seminars, but Rachel Hollis, thank you, Victoria. Rachel Hollis, Girl Wash Your Face. Thank you, not Girl Wash Your Hair. She was able to communicate very clearly what the end result of her coaching programs were. And she was prickly. she was not, again, when all of your book titles are commandments, you're probably not getting a coach that's very gentle or whatever. But in her programs, at least when she was very, very successful, she's kind of had a drop off now, but it was very clear. This is what you would get with me. You come to work with me, the transformation is going to be this. So for any of you who are thinking about being a coach, or if any of you are thinking about improving on your coaching, Can you communicate the transformation? To some extent, you have to be your own transformation. To communicate the transformation you want in your clients, you have to be your own transformation. Not completely, okay? Not completely. But if you're telling, listen, again, Bill Belichick doesn't run routes, but he knows how to talk about football. I'll try to use a non-sport analogy. If you're going to tell me how to invest my money, guess what I expect of you? You're going to be good with your money, right? If you're going to tell me that you are a time management coach, well, then you better be really good with your time management. If I'm going to tell you how to market, I have to be very good at marketing. You don't have to be those things completely, because your students may very well surpass you or may take an angle that's different than what you're doing. That goes back to the first one. That's why as coaches, we've always got to be hungry for skills, because people are looking you. If you're a coach, by definition, you're an expert. You're an expert. I'm gonna put someone on the line real quick so Shamika, tell us a little. I know you're a coach. Tell me a little bit about what you do as a coach. Do you mind sharing with me real quick?
Sure. So I help childcare coaches, childcare owners and directors become childcare coaches, teaching them how to start and scale their coaching business.
So Shamika's, her focus is very specific. Like she knows exactly. And Shamika, what's your background real quick? Do you mind telling me again? What's your background?
Yeah, I was an owner and director of a childcare facility for 17 years.
Yep. So you've seen it, right? When I was in the eye care industry, I could say I managed a clinic of 14,000 patients, 4 doctors, 6 days a week. You know, that's what they need to see. Our revenue increased 4 straight years over the course. I mean, those are the kind of things that your clients will need from you. You don't have to be ultimate. You don't. In fact, your weakness and your vulnerability is always attractive. Always. To tell someone, I mean, I need to be able to tell you, I started out as $1 a day coach, $30. And you know what? I had a hard time signing anybody up. I was like, $30 today, that doesn't even buy a tank of gas, right? And I was like, I'm not even worth a tank of gas. But you know what? No one thought there was any value in $1 a day coach, right? No one could look at me and go, there's any value in this. You might as well go for a free PDF than pay her $1 a day. So I had a marketing problem. That was the first problem. I had a confidence problem, and I didn't have a system that was worth anything. So for you guys to be able to communicate the transformation that you're offering makes a difference in the world. It makes all the difference. That's a lot of marketing, but it's also the structure of your program. The structure of your program has to lead people to a transformation. So like in our area, some of you guys are in Fredericksburg. We've got this gym now called Fit 20. You work out 20 minutes a week. That's it. And they promise a transformation. I know we're all like, what? I mean, like some of us are like, and they're expensive too. They really are. And they promise transformation. Now we're going to see what happens when they've been open 6 months, right, Nancy? I'm not quite sure. We know some coaches, right? But they promise. They've got some Swedish, I can't say that word. Sorry, my country accent won't let me say Swedish. So some Swede model of exercise that they promise in 20 minutes once a week, you're going to have this transformation. But you know what? Their marketing is good. Their presentation is good. They've got examples, and they're really good at the way they approach it. Now we just got to see results. It's called proof of concept, right? So right now, guys, for any of you guys who want to either improve your coaching or go into coaching, those 3 things are going to be your secrets. Continually improving your skills, being hungry for it, no matter what you got to do to get it. So you've got to be able to organize your system. People need to be able to understand clearly from you in 60 seconds. This is what my program looks like and does. so that you earn the right to explain it in greater detail. 60 seconds earns the rights for you to talk about it greater. I had someone message me today. I bumped into them in the movie theater. I have not seen them in 5 years. And they know that I was a pastor for 22 years and now I'm doing this. And they were like, so you just started your own business? I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for a while, but yeah. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, and I explained everything. I was like, but one of the things we do is we help coaches create programs. So today, she messaged me again, like, explain to me again what you're doing. And you know what I found out is that she's a licensed health coach and she's got a story. You put that skill with a story is where you find your target market, right? If you don't know who your ideal client is, you don't know who your avatar is, what's your story? You got your story, you got your ideal client. So we're meeting next week, we're gonna get some coffee, and I'm like, you got everything it takes to create an online program. That also means you got to keep your eye open when you go to the movie theater, look for folks to talk to. I'm always networking. So guys, but listen, are you hungry to gain new skills? Is your program organized? Does it need to get organized? And can you communicate the transformation? You can do that. You can make money as a coach. So let's have some questions or some interactions. Because remember, if you hang around to the end, I got 2 gifts for you. 100 prompts that will go viral for you or get close to it. And then I got a special offer for you. Anybody have any questions or thoughts or feedback about what's been said so far?
I do, Gordon.
Please.
Well, you just kind of gave me a light bulb moment. Now, as I've been, listening to you for a while and thinking about what I might do in my current situation, it just, when you were talking, totally occurred to me that I did this in my previous career. I was a piano teacher, music teacher for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I started without any certification or training, but it was something I loved. And the very first person who asked me said, just teach her what you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I could do that. Okay, so I spent many, many years, all the time I was teaching, I was still learning. And I went into a program and I got certified. And it turned out that certification was even worth more than a 4-year college degree, which I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
when I first went in. And it was all in music. And I had already had the general ed at another time. Well, I found out along the way too, that I did have a very specific way of teaching in a course and the way I handled it. I was organized. I mean, it was very concrete for me, much more so than what I'm doing right now is when I think about it. But I found out at one point in time that I had many more students than others, not because they couldn't get them, but because I was just willing to do it and I needed the money.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the same time, I was in a music teachers association where there were many, many opportunities for teachers, but for students too. And so I could always offer all of that to my students. And then at another time, I found out I not only had more students because I was willing to take that many, but that I was charging more than some of the teachers who actually were much better players and had been teachers longer than I was. Now I was trying to catch up to them. And I totally felt that I was worth that amount of money.
Certainly.
And those people, people came to me and I enjoyed that job. I enjoyed my students. I as you're talking, I thought, oh my goodness, I did all these things then. I was coaching them into piano performance. And I also had to try to stay at least equal to them. Some of them surpassed me. But if I asked them to go play in recitals or different events, I needed to be willing to do that too. So I needed to keep my skills up. And I was always putting myself into all these things. So all I'm saying is, it just occurred to me, I've kind of done this before in a whole nother way. Yeah. And so I'm like, maybe I can apply this somehow now. 100%. I don't really know yet. But anyway, that was very helpful. Thank you. Because I realized, okay, I kind of did this before.
Good. And Nancy, you've been a musician since you were a teenager, right?
Pretty much. I started at 10, but my whole piano story is very crazy. And it took me many, many years to even, it was very sporadic and all kinds of things happened. And all through my teen years, I had no lessons or instruction. But the minute I became an adult and was on my own, I found a way to get lessons. And it just continued. It's
a great story. It really is.
So,
it's a good story. It sells.
So I'm trying to figure
does.
out how to apply that to my current situation because it's not quite as concrete. But anyway, that was very helpful because I just went, oh, I think I might know some of this a little bit.
Well, good. Let's keep talking. You and Nancy, you and I will set up a little time to talk, keep turning through that. Thoughts or questions? Anyone else? Thoughts or questions? Lee, please.
Real quick thought, you know what? I just appreciate the fact of you sharing your background and how, you tried one program, it wasn't quite right, but you kept going. You didn't stop, because I can really relate to that with going from one program to the next. And you found something that worked, that was a good fit. So thank you so much for sharing that. Because most people just say, hey, I went and got this program. Next thing you know, I'm a millionaire. And you're like, okay, let's talk about the struggles. So keep it human so I can interact with you. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome. Listen, I also did 3 years of Cardone University and 1 year of ClickFunnels training. I mean, I'm with you, Lee. I mean, like, and it's all worthwhile because I took something from it, right? I mean, a lot of us have taken programs or gotten that free PDF or paid $1,000 for something, and it didn't result, right? And sometimes we beat ourselves up, like it's got to be my fault. And you know what? Yeah, sometimes it's the program. Sometimes it's not a fit. Like Cardone is just not a fit for me, and that's the largest national platform for sales training. It's just not a fit for me. But yeah, you're welcome, Lee. Sometimes we just got to give ourselves grace. Got to give ourselves grace, and if we learn from it, it's not a waste of money. If we learn from it, it's not a waste of money. It's just, I know my bachelor's degree, I took some classes that I thought were garbage, but I know they were all part of sweeping all that together to get me a degree. And that's kind of the way I see some of these coaching programs I've paid for along the way. So thank you, Lee. Other thoughts or questions? Anybody got anything else to share?
Gordon.
Yes.
I feel like we all underplay our value proposition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all don't really understand what we're worth.
Yep.
I mean, in my world, I mean, I feel like I should charge another 1,000 for every 10,000 I've made over the last couple of years, or for my clients, the last 2 years, especially.
Yes.
But I know, like, Nancy, how much, did we get the house she just staged for us, above and beyond what we would have gotten had we not done it right. So we don't understand, or we don't take ourselves seriously and understand our value proposition to what we are doing, I think, a lot of times personally. So I think that's just kind of a revisit thing for each of us to maybe write down and think about it. It's huge.
You're right, Missy. It's we're shy to admit, to ask for what we think we're worth. Mm-hmm. And that really comes down to literally what we think we're worth. And you're all worth immensely more than you've ever given yourself credit for. We have this playing loop of tape in our head of criticisms, and we know our mistakes, and we have a tendency to devalue what we're worth. And I didn't add that on for coaching, but one of the values of coaching is you get to enjoy, like, I am good at this. I can make an impact with someone. I can do something positive. And there's not a whole lot of opportunities like that these days. And, you'll have some, I've been told before, you're not charging enough. And you think, oh man, is that true? And so, yeah, just being comfortable asking what you're worth, especially when you can create an impact and a change. Thank you, Missy. That's really great. So by the way, in the chat, I posted the PDF. You guys get bonus number 1. So if you have any problem downloading that, just message me privately on Facebook and I'll make sure you get it. It's 100 viral posts. It's some great, when you don't, I don't know what to post on Facebook today. Those are going to be some great attention grabbers, and just kind of scroll through there. They're also good TikTok material. They're good Reels material. They're good podcast topics. If you multiply that by 4, which is what you could, that's enough posts to take you through an entire year, aside from the promotion of your own products and services. Literally, you can do a TikTok, a Reel, a post, and a LinkedIn on that if you shape it in the right way, and it'll keep you busy for a little while. So that's bonus number 1. Guys, other thoughts or questions? Anywhere else I can help you?
I just want to say thank you for making a point to remind me to use my story, as my coaching, because honestly, like you guys shared, it's hard to kind of take the years that you've experienced, all your struggles, everything that you've been through, and really put it in a program that's organized, because, and have those systems in place. I think that's important. So using my story to put those things in place is one of the things I'm definitely going to need help with. So I'm grateful that you been there, you could possibly, help with it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you, Shamika. Shamika, I worry that people are going to get tired of me talking about my epilepsy. I just, what I feel like, it's like, oh, Gordon, you talk about that all the time. It's what but what I shared it last week, and someone else had a brain injury. It wasn't epilepsy, but they wanted to talk to me because we had gone through something. And no one has ever told me ever, and quit talking about that. You know what? And then if they did, I would find myself not wanting to spend time with them anyway. Right. And so you're right, Shamika, you got most of us have stories that we're not even sharing. Right. Most of it kind of, if we go through a little bit, I don't mean to start preaching. We go through a little bit of healing. We got stories to share, right? If we got that story we're scared to share, we probably need to go through a little healing and then find a way to care for other people in that. So, well, listen, here's what I'd like to do. If you don't mind, I would like to share our coaching program with you. I do. I'd like to share it with you. And I've got a couple of folks here who have signed up for it, and I'm very thankful that you'd be with us. But I'd like to share a little bit about it. It's going to take about 5 minutes, and then I'll get you guys out of here so that I can go eat my noodles and company. And then you guys can get to the food that's waiting for you. So let me grab it real quick. Believe it or not, I actually am using a PowerPoint. I can't stand PowerPoint, but I'm going to use it today. Okay. So this is our online program. Let me show you a little bit about it right here. It's in 3 pieces. Over on the left, your Capitalize Your Best program. That includes a couple of things. It's 23 online videos. It's going to help you create a coaching program or market your coaching program. So even if you already have one, the creation of your program in that is going to help you just kind of refine it and go back to it and make sure it's just ready. But if you don't have a program at all, it's going to help you create one. And I'm going to make sure you're able to market it and sustainably market. That's the most important thing. It's not just a one-time marketing, that you can sustainably market it. It's going to include 4 one-on-one coaching calls. And today I'm going to give you guys 2 what I call unstuck calls. You can be like, Gordon, I'm just stuck. I do not know what to do on this thing. And we're going to set up those 2 extra calls where I did one today. Someone's like, I don't understand this marketing piece. We hopped on Zoom real quick and just knocked them out. So it's 23 online videos, 4 one-on-one calls, and 2 unstuck calls. Now, when you sign up for the Capitalize Your Best program, everybody then becomes part of, and I just launched this week, the Capitalize Your Best Boost thread. And guys, I'm not lying to you. If you're part of the Capitalize Your Best Boost thread, you're never going to have to use Facebook ads again. This is a community that's going to make sure that every time you post something, you get bombarded with likes and comments and just break the Facebook algorithm. It's going to save you money on, if you want to do ads, you can, you're just not going to have to. I haven't paid for a single ad on my program. I've got a financial mark. When I get to it, maybe I'll do some ads, but the Capitalize Your Best Boost thread will keep you from having to pay for Facebook ads. And then we just launched the Capitalize Your Best group. And guys, this is the elite group. This is a private invite only. It's not the group that this webinar came out of. It's different. So we're going to be launching exclusive daily coaching in there, exclusive weekly coaching. I'm bringing on guest coaches for private seminars like this, but guest speakers who are phenomenal. And I'm also going to give you guys free resources and priority support because you're in the program. And so in that, what we promise you is that we promise you that if you launch this program, we're going to give you double your investment back on your revenue, which means every dollar you spend, we promise you, you're going to get twice back out. And if you don't, I'll keep coaching you until you do. It's like going to Vegas on free money. So whatever you put in, I promise you $2 back. So it's the online program, it's the Boost thread, and then it's the Capitalize Your Best elite group, which is, like I said, different than the public Facebook group. And that public Facebook group is going to always do what it does. I post a reel in there every day, tons of free content. I love that group. So let me tell you how that works, guys. And that is here. If I can get to the, typically the program costs $5,200. The Boost thread would save you $1,200 on Facebook ads. The elite membership would be $1,200. So that's a $7,600 program. And today, if you guys sign up for it, or if you sign up for it as a result of this seminar, it's only $3,600. So we're going to save you $4,000. All of that is a part of that. Now, for everybody who's on the Zoom, who are part of the program, guys, all of this is already yours. Every single bit of that's already yours. It's not something someone's getting. These things are yours. But for anybody who's thinking about starting a coaching program or enhancing their coaching program, this is an offer just for you guys. The Capitalize Your Best program is increasing in cost in July. You guys won't experience that impact. So that is, in case you're forgetting, so it's the online programs, it's coaching calls, the unstuck calls, it's the boost thread, and it's the Capitalize Your Best Elite program. And all of that is $3,600. And I promise you that you will net $7,200 in revenue by the end of the program. And you can do it in 90 days or 180 days, whichever one works best for you. And so I've got that. If you guys have any questions, what I'd like for you to do is just reach out to me, and we're going to set up some one-on-one calls. We'll do a Zoom, or if you're local, I can meet you one-on-one and give you some details about it. But what I see here is some folks who I know have some tremendous coaching abilities. And I think you could either start a program or enhance the one that you already have. So any last questions on that before we all go eat food and I get some noodles and company? Is there anything I can answer for you guys? Anything?
I just wanted to say, Gordon, I didn't see the PDF in my chat, so can
Thank
you
you.
send it to me later?
Yeah.
Another one?
If you don't see it in the chat, just message me.
Okay.
And I will make sure that you get it, Nancy. Nancy, you and I talk almost every day, so I'll make sure you get
Okay.
that, no problem. So
Thank you.
sure,
Thank
of
you.
course. Anything else, guys? Well, listen, yes.
I wanted to do just a quick endorsement.
Oh, please.
As well,
Yes, please.
Gordon. I am starting Gordon's program the middle of July from a timing perspective and clients. That's working out for me. But I also purchased an add-on because I wanted some specific coaching on a couple of very specific topics outside of the Capitalize Your Best program. So I'll just be an endorsement that I'm doing an add-on of 6 extra sessions. And so I'm really looking forward to that. It'll be really tailored and customized to some of my unique interests and needs. So I'll just kind of add that endorsement
Kara.
for you, Gordon.
Thank you. So Kara signed up for the program you guys just saw, and then she and I are going to have one-on-one coaching on top of that, which Kara is tremendous. So I'm humbled that she would want to work with me. So that means a ton. Thank you. But yes, there is an option. I didn't want to overwhelm you with options today. But if you would like additional one-on-one coaching, there is a customizable program on top of that. So guys, any last things? I really appreciate it. I mean, I've loved seeing all of you guys. It's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. Any last thoughts or contributions or questions? If you're local, Missy will not lose the deal. She will sell that house for you. She really will. She will. She's fantastic. I get the fortune of seeing Missy 3 or 4 days a week and get coffee with her, and she's phenomenal. I've gotten to know a bunch of you on here, so it means a ton that you'd all show up. Any last thoughts?
Gordon, I remember with you when you first came home from that, I don't know what it was, the Grant Cardone used car salesman thing I said, and you were on fire. It was like, that's when you made, and I love Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is the EXP partner now too, but he still makes me crazy, but you were on fire. That's when you saw, okay, I know what I want to do and I'm going to get there. I loved it. Well,
that's right, Missy. I forgot you saw that transformation. Thank you. And Missy was a client of mine when I was awful. Like I was not a good, like I was not, like, I'm glad Missy and I are still friends because I
believed in you more than you believed.
That's the truth. That's the truth. I don't think I did a very good job for you, but Missy and I have been friends. But I made that investment. I charged that suit, went on the crazy Spirit Airline. I went to Vegas and didn't spend a dime on gambling because I was eating all the free stuff I could get everywhere. I mean, you know, it's a fantastic story though. It really is. It really is. And I was in line with someone. We waited in line an hour to meet Dame and John. And again, I got to meet Dame. I got to meet Dame and John, and I got to meet Brad Lee, and I got to meet Cardone's brother, for whatever it's worth. But the person I was in line with, she now has a multi-million-dollar high-rise apartment cleaning franchising company. She came over from Eastern Europe and cleaned apartments, got her citizenship, started cleaning apartments, and then quickly realized, you know what? I can make money by creating businesses for other people to do what I do. And man, her Instagram ain't nothing but the Hamptons and private jets. And I'm like, wow, I mean, she scaled. I mean, but again, I can message her in a heartbeat and say, hey, you know, what thoughts you got for me? And she always gives me good wisdom. So it's always good to be around people. But thank you, Missy. I appreciate that. So any last thoughts, anybody? Well, thank you. Thank you. I am going to save this. I'll post it in the Capitalize Your Best group probably in a day or two. And I'll probably follow up with a couple of you guys because I know a couple of you guys here have considered going into coaching, and I'm going to follow up with you. But any last things, guys? All right. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording, and I can't wait to see you all. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.